Well, good morning. Yesterday was our final day of travel. As you can probably see out my windows, we're definitely back in the Pacific Northwest with beautiful trees and mountains. It's quite the change coming from, the Nevada desert, across Kansas, through the Rockies, down through the South, winding through the hills of Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee. I mean, it's just different. Just something about the air, and it's definitely the water. The water is, oh my goodness, some of the water you get in some of these states is like really hard. So I mean, there's just so many differences. We've got it good. Let's put it that way. Be blessed for what we have. So good to be home. It's kind of mixed feelings. We've enjoyed the travel. Spending a month with your wife in a car for 7,500 miles. You get to know each other again really, really well, and it's amazing. It took us about a week kind of get synced into a kind of a traveling routine, but it was good. We had a great time, and just was able to do things that you can't do when you have kids. You can't just take off on a month-long road trip for 7,500 miles. So, well, speaking of 7,500 miles, this is funny. So before we left, I took a screen capture on my Tesla app for the exact number of miles, and then when I got home, I took a screen capture of my mileage exactly, and do the math, right? Exactly 7,500. No joke. I mean, you can't plan that, right? I mean, you got to think of all the little side trips and the little loops and all that stuff. I mean, it landed dead on at 7,500 miles. That was just so funny. But so how did the Tesla do? It did great. I mean, we had zero problems. I didn't even have to put new washer fluid in, because that's the really only thing you have to change. As far as supercharging and charging goes, and range anxiety, yes, we had a couple of moments of a little bit of range anxiety, because I think, where was it? So coming out of Salina, Kansas, the next charger down line, I mentioned this in one of the videos, was had some of the chargers. It was a station with 6 chargers, and basically they're 150 kilowatt chargers, and the way they're done is they're paired to a charging unit behind the scenes, and 2 of the 3 charging units for those 6 chargers were apparently down just overnight for some odd reason, and but 2 of them were working, and we were able to charge. We actually pulled in, no one was there. We charged right up, went over to Walmart, used the restroom, came back, and we were on our way. So a little range anxiety there, and then for some reason between Twin Falls and our next charging stop, we were getting kind of mixed signals from both the Tesla and the Better Route Planner app. The app was telling us we were going to arrive at 15% if we were at 100% charge. The Tesla, which is typically wrong, was telling us 39% at 100% charge when we arrived. So I'm like going, So we didn't risk it, because normally the Better Route Planner app is correct, and if you hit headwinds that it can't predict, we're heading east through the Columbia River area, and you never know what you're going to get. And so we decided to charge to 100% and hit the road, and we had great weather along the way, and we ended up showing up with 36%. So the Better Route Planner app, that was the first time on the entire trip that it was actually off. But other than that, we were fine. Everything was great. Coming home yesterday in the last leg, beautiful weather through the Columbia River Gorge. We were just past the storm that came through the previous day. All that rain that you guys got here. I mean, when we showed up, it was absolutely beautiful. So didn't have any problems. But other than that, I mean, we were stopping about every 120 miles or so to, for 20-25 minutes to charge. And the superchargers were great. When you get to the south, they're a little more sparse, especially when we were like in Muscle Shoals. We were quite a ways. You know, Huntsville was an hour away, and that was really the nearest supercharger. The university there in Muscle Shoals did have, or Florence, just across the way, had a charging unit. Really didn't need it though. I mean, we just stayed at Mike and Kim's house, and we plugged into their 110, and we were fine. I mean, we didn't really need the deal. And by the time we left, we were good. We did not use the Tesla to go up to Nashville, just because of timing of the day. It was, you know, 2.5 hours to get up there with traffic and all that in consideration, and back, you know, another 2 hours. And we had to be at dinner at a certain time, and so we didn't want to insert the Tesla into that mix, because of charging would have added some time to that. So that's the only time, you know, we really used a gas vehicle the whole trip, where we were hoping to use the Tesla for that one. So there are moments in time where the Tesla's just not going to be the right vehicle, but for 99.9% of the time, it's fine. I mean, you got to consider, we just traveled 7,500 miles across the United States in a Tesla Model Y and had no problems whatsoever. So, so if you have range anxiety at all, think about buying an electric vehicle. If you're buying a Tesla, there's nothing to even consider about worrying about those types of things. So, because most of the charging you're going to do, and I've said this before, is at home. You're just going to plug in at home, and you're going to be fine for whatever. It's only on road trips are you really ever going to use a supercharger like we did. So that's kind of the Tesla update. Really no problems, like I said, and would definitely do it again. We do plan on going back to a couple different places in the future. We want to go back and spend some time with Mike and Kim in Muscle Shoals in Alabama there. You know, that whole area, there's so much to see, and we probably need a solid week there. And the same down in Texas. Go back and visit Thomas and Diana, and just spend, you know, a solid week there in Texas. We did find that staying 3 nights in the kind of the core locations was really the right amount of time for what we were doing, because we did that in Texas and in Alabama and in the Denver, Colorado area, and Phoenix. You know, we stayed those 3 nights, so that really worked out well for us from a travel perspective on this type of a road trip, because it gave you the time to do the legs in between, but still plenty of time to sit down with family and friends and have a good time and catch up. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for following along on our trip. You know, who knows what adventures we might do next, but for right now, we're home and happy to be here. And so I'm going to go into Home Depot right now and pick up some stuff, because I got to get back into my routine of things to do. So enjoy your day, and as I say in the South, have a blessed day. Bye.